I don't know why people take the Christian out of it. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
for me. I was only doing that to find myself. I would rather be put in a box.
Oh, really?
That's a great question. A lot of things might be exposed in this this conversation.
You know what? And I actually like the fact that you said that you're a Christian R&B artist. Like, do you really just take that kind of mantle of Christian R&B artist, or is that just how people perceive you as?
That's a good question. I think that's both are right because starting in I think the first few songs I released were a little bit of rap, so CHH, and then moving into the R&B world, right?
Yeah.
Um, you kind of already set yourself in that way, and I have no shame being a Christian,
Hmm.
right? So it's like the Christian. I don't know why people take the Christian out of it. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
you know depending on whatever they want to do for their business. But for me, it's more than just the business. It's who I am. It's how I was raised. So um, I take it on. I'm a Christian R&B artist. I
Yeah.
talk about a lot of things that go on, and it's that simple.
Yeah.
I don't hide
Well,
away.
it's okay. So it's a discussion that has been gone on for way too long. But let's go ahead. Let's have this conversation. So, um, I as a DJ, I have understood why some artists are cautious to claim. Sometimes not even. I mean, yes, we talk about being a Christian artist or artist as Christian, but like sometimes there's some artists, especially even now, and I don't
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a good or bad. So I'll have to ask you on that. But like, they don't even want. Some of them don't even want to be known as like just an R&B artist or what. Like it's almost like this whole like don't put me in a box. I don't want to be in a box, right? So
Mhm.
sometimes it's not even necessarily that I'm ashamed of the title or whatever. It's just I don't want you to only perceive me of that way because then if I try to do something else, I'm going to lose you, which I think there's some fairness to it because like let's say for instance like I got onto your music as R&B, right? And I
Mhm.
feel and I can't remember the track, but not long after doing that, you had put a track out that was more of the hip hop side than anything else, which I like, but I'm going to be honest. Like one of the things that really, really drew me to you was the fact that because at that time there wasn't really like a lot of R&B artists that I had stumbled upon, right? So when you
Mhm.
put that out, even for me as a quick time listener, there, I was just like, oh man, like okay, cool. I'm glad he's doing this, but I'm really hoping he does some more R&B because I as a DJ really need more of that. So I don't know. So what are your thoughts, bro, about people who just are really not wanting to be labeled in anything, whether it's Christian or even a genre, because they're not wanting to be put into a box.
Um, I mean, like I said, I think these days have people have a lot more say based upon how independent you are as an artist.
Yeah.
So they don't want any kind of control outside of their control. So meaning if they want to go do things, then they're going to say, "Hey, I'm more than just the R&B artist. Just because I started in R&B don't mean
Right.
I'm just art." Right? So for me, I was only doing that to find my sound. I would
Mm.
rather be put in the box.
Oh,
Um,
really? Okay,
yeah,
speak on
because
that.
I think it defines you as an artist. It like you figure out, oh, dag, like more people love me singing more
Mm.
than rapping, even though I enjoy rapping. But if
Mm.
that's something I'm I'm more effective in that genre, I'm gonna stay there.
Mm.
It's the smartest move, honestly. I think you have to take the ego and pride out of it. So it's like for me is I have to sit back and be like, okay, I see what people are doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like, yeah, you go do you. People are still gonna be confused about your music. Like they don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if you want more of a straight, direct like path for your artistry page or whatever, and who you are as an artist, I would stick to the things that that you like, but honestly, what your fans like, because then you're gonna start losing them.
Yeah.
So that's that's how
Yeah.
I.
Hey, that's a good point. I actually, it's very interesting that you're saying that, that I want to kind of be put in a box or something. It sounds like, um, for you, it gives you more direction. It gives you
Yeah.
more of like, now I'm not going to waste my time testing the waters, right? I'm not going to throw something here, some seeds here, and see what lands, which is understandable. So although it's helpful, okay, although it's helpful for you as a creative, right? Because especially because you're an artist, right?
Hmm.
As a creative, um, how does that affect you? Because I know myself as a creative, and maybe it's a personality thing too. But like the second you think you are figuring me out, I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and try to do something a little bit different. So how do you deal with that then? Or
Um,
do you at all? Do you just kind of really sit in it?
hmm. I low key do sit in it. Lately I have.
Okay.
Before, if you would have asked me that question a year ago, then nah, it wouldn't be the same question because I'm in a much different place. I think um I'm starting to understand. I think I told you that I was leaning into the R&B world during
Yep.
that time. I said once I get all these other songs out, it's literally going to be R&B.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny enough that's the path that I'm heading towards. So I try knowing my creativity and the thoughts that in this head, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I sometimes I try like send it off to other people if I have ideas in like the hip hop world so I can like write for them or whatever.
Yeah.
But I try to sustain myself. I talked to a couple people that are in the secular industry who I know that does R&B but he writes for everybody if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But he
Okay.
sits in his space, even though he could do the things that they're doing and do it much better. So for
Yeah.
me, it's like I rather let me sit here because I actually like it, and
Yeah.
it's like peaceful. I ain't gotta. I feel like the CHH is like high competition.
Mm.
So when you're in the R&B space, and it's rare in the Christian world, right? You're seeing more in the
Yep.
business side. So
Yep.
um I'm not going to move that because that's a gym. So I enjoy the space, and I'm excited to release more music in that
Okay.
space. Sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's fair. Um, Actually, you said something, and I'm gonna come back to it. But I did want to go to a question that our mod Nisha had. What is the difference between being put being in a box or staying in your lane?
Ooh, man, these are some great questions. The difference between being put in the box is you being put in the box that you don't want to be in, and the lane that you're staying is the one that you choose that you know you're supposed to be at. It's like the
Mm,
destination. It's like the reason why people don't like being put in a box, maybe because they haven't had any kind of self-discovery yet. So
mm,
they
yeah,
feel like it's like a tug, whatever. But when you know your lane,
yeah,
you know it, and you're gonna be it's a straight lane. It's like I-95. You just on
yeah.
that lane forever.
Yeah,
So
is that a sweet spot, or some people churchianity would or Christianese would say flowing in the spirit, right?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Oh, my apologies. It was the original Sage. Nisha was just tagging it. Got you. Okay, so you said something that was actually kind of interesting when you were talking about that CHH is how'd you say competitive?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's very competitive. So as all hip hop, along with other things, of course, but uh, hip hop has always been very a competitive thing. In fact, anybody and everybody would agree that good, healthy competition would it's like an iron sharpens iron, right? People grow, people kind of get pushed and whatnot. However, we also understand the negative effects of competitiveness, where it's more of either stepping over somebody or stepping in front of someone, right? And I say both ways because there's a difference between I'm going to use you not just as
Mhm.
a stepping stone, but I'm going to completely use you and then forget about you, right? Kind of like forgetting your humble beginnings, versus um, I'm going to get in the way. So every time I hear that you have a potential of being in this place or whatever, I'm gonna try
Mhm.
to jump in line and be like, oh, I'm gonna put that content out before you do, or I'm gonna, you know what I mean? So what do you feel with the competitiveness, right, in the Christian market, more so
Mhm.
on the CHH, that kind of keeps you at bay from jumping in there?
That's a great question. A lot of things about to be exposed in this this conversation. I'm glad I got here before LC. Uh, but I say this is my picture of what it is. It's like if anybody has seen Godfather,
Yeah.
that's exactly how it is. Like
Okay. Okay. For those who may not have, try to explain that a little bit.
not everybody in there, but season some people in there, I'm not going to say names, they have this ambition, this passion to think, hey, I'm trying to make it to the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
only going to be me and my homies, and uh I got to get next to the big dog,
Mm.
and then let me stay by him, push all everybody else aside, you know what I'm saying,
Yep.
and then let me hop to this group, and then keep hopping to try to make it to reach records or trying to, you know what
Woo.
I'm saying, like that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But that's yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
what's
Yeah.
going on.
So that's definitely more of the climbing over that I was talking
Yeah.
about. We're because here's the thing, we are not of a brand of which that a lot of people know of yet. Okay, however the Lord may, see fit for it. Fantastic, one way or the other. But we're also we are intentional about trying to platform artists like you, right? Um, from well-known names to just starting up to those who just may not have gotten as much exposure, whatever the case may be, right? So we are intentionally trying to platform. So we in a way want to see ourselves as a stepping stone, right? Like, I don't know if you ever seen videos of like sometimes like some like military folks climbing the wall where like they literally like they all like line up on the wall, somebody climbs on top of them, they climb
Yeah.
up, right,
Mm-hmm.
but then together the entire team makes it over, right?
Yep.
That's a good healthy picture of how it ought to be when you're talking about community, iron sharpens iron, that kind of stuff, whatever. But what
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about is, again, I'm going to leave you all behind in the dust, and then I'm going to be too big for my own good, and now I'm unreachable until I see that you get enough streams, until you're buzzing enough, and all of a sudden you're back in the circles that I'm in, and now I have to confront you and have this
Oh,
interaction.
yeah. Yeah.
So, as as a listener on the outside, right? Sometimes it can look like, hey, it's amazing. These are all Christians and the Lord is being glorified in all things, right? But then they'll hear conversations like this and go, oh, it's like the family who has got some issues going on at home, but at church, they're just smiling because they know it's going to go down if they don't.
Facts. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you communicate what true unity ought to look like when all they can see is on the outside versus on the inside? So like just unity within just the Christian culture, right? We'll kind of expand it a little bit because I'm thinking of churches too, because churches be doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
I mean, really, just the umbrella Christians tend to do that a lot. We lack the unity part, and we do a lot more of um, faking the funk, right? So
Yep.
somebody on the outside looking in, what would you say to them when they start to see the behind the scene, the ugly, the skeletons in the closet? What would you
Uh-huh.
tell them so that they don't get discouraged once knowing that?
Good question. the biggest thing that I've learned recently, being or seeing or hearing uh, any of these things going on. The way I do it is discipleship.
Mm. Yeah.
So I, if anybody has a question, if anybody wants to talk, I am literally always open to talk. It doesn't matter how many streams I get. It doesn't matter who I'm hanging out with, what church I go to, who I know. That is not the reason why I make music. Like,
Mm.
I know a lot of homies, and they're still my homies, but I don't, we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's, God knows He knows your intentions.
Yeah.
So I know my intentions up here. And the way I do it is, I give them a heads up. I'm like, hey, just letting you know, this is a great space, but be careful.
Mm.
If you need help, I am here. I have people who would love to talk to you because we are the real ones.
Yeah.
We're really trying to build the table, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
and for everybody and not just for specific people.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just discipleship and then also supporting each other. So I don't know
Yeah.
everything, but you can talk to me like, hey, but what about, you know what I'm saying? Like there's no position. You know what I'm saying? Like I think a lot of people are put on pedestals in this game, and a lot of people get exposed, but
Yeah.
some people haven't yet. They still
Ooh.
lizards.
He said they haven't yet. No, that's good. That's good. Basically, find the real ones, right? Because you can find that in all things, whether it's in Christian stuff or not, right? You can find the real basketball players versus the fake, right? You can find the real whatever plumbers, whatever from the fake. Like you can find out from anything really quickly, and I believe what you said was very crucial, which is stop focusing on the ones who are failing
Mm,
that thing that they're representing, and focus on the ones who are doing it right. And I
yeah.
think Christianity, because people are aware, I won't say the word no, people are aware of possibly some things in the Bible as to how Christians ought to act, right?
Mm,
Um,
mm,
However, when Christians aren't acting that way, they automatically go, well, hey, aren't you supposed to do this? And you're not supposed to do that. And how come you're doing this? And it's like, well, the thing is you don't have the context that sanctification is a process. It's a lifelong process.
mhm.
So at the same time, it's not an excuse, right? We hold each other accountable for that stuff, and we should call out our own. All right, I'm actually we can kind of get into to a video that we put out today, where we're addressing stuff. But again, back to the person on the outside looking in who is seeing murky waters versus clear waters. Just
Mm.
look for the clear spots. Don't focus on the muddy waters. Don't focus on the sticks and twigs that are popping up, and instead find the area that you can swim in and enjoy in and feel safe in and all that. So, hey, if you liked any of this content and you found some value in it, make sure that you like, subscribe, and of course, share it. Also, if you're interested in some more, go ahead and check out these videos. Till next time, grace and peace. Adios.